An emergency fund is not just about saving money, it is about creating peace of mind. Life is full of surprises and not all of them are good. A sudden job loss, a medical bill, or an urgent car repair can happen without warning. If you do not have money set aside, these problems can quickly grow into bigger financial struggles. Instead of turning to credit cards or loans, which add debt and stress, an emergency fund gives you a safe cushion. Think of it as your personal safety net. Just like seat belts protect you in a car crash, an emergency fund protects you when life hits hard. It allows you to handle the situation calmly and make better decisions without panicking. Even a small emergency fund can keep you from falling behind on bills or damaging your credit. Over time, as you grow this fund, it becomes a strong shield against financial storms. This is why building an emergency fund should always be a priority. It is the foundation of financial security, the first step towards stability, and the tool that helps you focus on long-term goals without fear of unexpected setbacks. Set a clear savings goal when starting an emergency fund. The first step is to know exactly how much you need. Without a clear goal, saving can feel endless and confusing. Most experts suggest building a fund that can cover 3 to 6 months of basic living costs. This includes rent or mortgage, groceries, utilities, transport, and essential bills. If that feels too big at the start, aim for a smaller target like $500 or worse thousand. This amount alone can help with sudden car repairs, medical visits, or urgent expenses that would otherwise push you into debt. Having a number in mind keeps you focused and motivated. Each dollar saved feels like progress toward a real milestone. Write down your target and break it into smaller steps. For example, if your goal is $1,000, think of it as 10 goals of $100 each. This makes saving less stressful and more rewarding. Your emergency fund should not be mixed with money for vacations, shopping, or other short-term desires. Keep it separate, maybe in its own savings account, so you are not tempted to use it. A clear goal gives you direction, builds discipline, and keeps your fund growing steadily. It is easier to reach a destination when you know where you are headed. Cut non-essential spending. One of the fastest ways to grow your emergency fund is by trimming expenses that are not truly necessary. Many people are surprised when they look closely at their spending habits. Small daily purchases like coffee, takeout meals, or unused subscriptions can add up to hundreds of dollars each month. By cutting or reducing these non-essentials, you free up money that can go directly into your savings. Start by reviewing your monthly expenses. Ask yourself what is a need and what is just a want. Needs are things you cannot live without, like rent, groceries, and utilities. Wants are the extras, entertainment, luxury items, and upgrades you can live without for now. It does not mean you have to give up everything you enjoy, but making smart trade-offs will speed up your savings. For example, cooking at home instead of eating out twice a week could save a large amount over a month. Canceling unused gym memberships or streaming services can also make a difference. Each cutback may seem small, but when combined, they create a strong flow of extra money. Remember, these changes do not have to be forever. The goal is to grow your emergency fund quickly. Once it is strong, you can slowly bring back some of the extras. By prioritizing savings over non-essential spending, you make sure your safety net grows without delay. Build a simple budget. A budget is the roadmap that guides your money. Without it, it is easy to lose track of where your income goes and why you struggle to save. Building a simple budget helps you see exactly what you earn, what you spend, and what you can set aside for your emergency fund. The best part is, it doesn't have to be complicated. Even a basic plan written on paper or tracked through a phone app can make a big difference. Start with your income. Write down how much you bring in each month. Then list your fixed expenses like rent, utilities, transportation, and groceries. After that, note down your variable expenses such as dining out, entertainment, and shopping. Now, compare the two. If you are spending more than you earn, it's time to cut back. If you have extra left, direct it straight into your emergency savings. A good method is the 50-30-20 rule. 50% of your income for needs, 30% for wants, and 20% for savings or debt repayment. If your focus is building an emergency fund fast, adjust it to save more, even if just for a short time. A simple budget not only shows you where to cut, but also gives you control. When you see your progress every month, it motivates you to keep going. With discipline, your budget becomes the tool that steadily grows your financial safety net. Use extra income wisely. Extra income is one of the fastest tools to grow your emergency fund, but only if you use it smartly. Many people treat bonuses, tax refunds, or side hustle money as fun cash and spend it quickly. Instead, think of every extra dollar as fuel for your safety net. By directing unexpected income straight into your emergency savings, you can reach your goal much faster without affecting your regular budget. Consider side hustles like freelance work, tutoring, delivery jobs, or selling unused items at home. Even small amounts can add up over weeks and months. A single weekend of extra work might cover a whole month's savings goal. This way, your fund grows without taking more from your main paycheck. If you receive gifts or sudden financial support, treat it the same way. Don't spend it on short-term pleasures. Deposit it into your emergency account before you're tempted. The mindset is simple: pretend this money never existed for spending. By using extra income wisely, you reduce the pressure on your monthly budget and speed up your progress. It transforms occasional windfalls into lasting security. Every bonus, every side job, every unexpected dollar can be the building block of the strong financial cushion you're working toward. Automate your savings. One of the easiest ways to make sure your emergency fund grows is by automating the process. When savings are automatic, you do not have to rely on willpower or constant reminders. The money moves into your emergency account before you even have the chance to spend it. This simple step turns saving into a habit rather than a struggle. Start by setting up an automatic transfer from your checking account to your savings account every payday. Even a small fixed amount like 20 or 50 DU can make a huge difference over time. Because it happens regularly, you will hardly notice the money leaving, but you will notice your savings growing. If your employer offers direct deposit, you can also split your paycheck so that a portion goes straight into savings. This way, your emergency fund builds itself in the background. Think of it as paying yourself first, before bills or expenses. Automation removes the temptation to spend the money elsewhere. You don't have to make a decision each month. It's already done for you. Over time, this consistent flow adds up and gives you a reliable safety cushion. By letting automation work for you, building an emergency fund becomes steady, stress-free, and guaranteed. Start with small steps. Building an emergency fund can feel overwhelming if you focus only on the big number, but the truth is, small steps make a big difference. Even saving just a few dollars each day or week adds up over time. What matters most is starting, not waiting until you think you can save large amounts. The earlier you begin, the faster your fund will grow. For example, saving $5 a day might not seem like much, but in a month, that's $150. In a year, it becomes $1,800, a strong start for an emergency cushion. When you break it down into smaller pieces, the goal feels easier and less stressful. You can also use round-up apps or bank features that save spare change from each purchase. These tiny amounts quietly build your fund without much effort. It's proof that progress doesn't always need big sacrifices. Every small step creates momentum, and momentum creates motivation. Once you see the balance rising, you'll feel encouraged to save more. Over time, those small steps turn into big results. Remember, your emergency fund is not built in a single day. It's built with consistent, steady actions. Start small, stay committed, and watch it grow. Avoid unnecessary debt. Debt can undo all the progress you make toward an emergency fund. If you rely on credit cards or loans to handle surprises, you'll end up paying far more in interest than the original expense. That's why avoiding unnecessary debt is key while building your safety net. The less debt you carry, the easier it becomes to direct money toward savings instead of repayments. Start by being mindful of how you use credit. If you don't have the cash to pay off a purchase quickly, it's best to wait. Focus on paying down high-interest balances as soon as possible because they drain your income every month. Even small debts can grow if ignored, eating away at the money you could be saving. While emergencies can force you into borrowing at times, your goal should be to reduce the chances of that happening. An emergency fund gives you the freedom to say no to debt when life throws a challenge at you. Each dollar saved is one less dollar you'll need to borrow in the future. By keeping your spending in check and avoiding unnecessary debt, you protect yourself twice. Once by reducing financial pressure now, and again by making sure your savings can grow without being swallowed by interest. Stay consistent over time. The real strength of an emergency fund comes from consistency. Saving once in a while or only when it feels easy won't build the protection you need. The key is to keep adding to your fund regularly, even if the amounts are small. Over time, these steady contributions grow into a reliable cushion that can handle life's surprises. Think of your emergency fund as a long-term commitment, not a short project. Just like exercise builds health through routine, savings grows strong with discipline. Some months you may save more, other months less. But what matters is that you keep moving forward. Even 10 added during a tight month keeps the habit alive. Review your fund every few months to track progress. Celebrate small wins like reaching your first 500 or 1,000. These milestones remind you that your effort is paying off. If you ever dip into the fund for a true emergency, refill it as soon as possible to keep your safety net strong. Consistency also builds confidence. Knowing you have a fund in place allows you to focus on other financial goals without constant worry. By staying committed over time, your emergency fund becomes the solid foundation of your financial security.